That's a good question.
He says one, yeah. All that. So
I was going to have to read through that whole thing. Ready over there?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I call to order, Pleasant Hills School District Board meeting for March 3rd. Our first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands. Rusty?
Love to. Mission to graduate all students with high levels of academic and personal achievement, ready for post-secondary excellence, prepared for productive, compassionate citizenship through research-based instruction and collaborative system of support.
Thank you, sir. Number 2, any changes or additions to the agenda today? No. All right. Item number 3, introduction and attendance introduction for our audience members. So you guys can start on that side and just kind of go through.
Jamie Heacock.
Did you say Jamie?
Jamie Heacock.
I'm Josie Peacock, I'm a junior.
Kurt Offenbacher, senior.
Thank you. And what was our attendance at our last meeting?
It's harder to track now that it's all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No audience.
Okay, no audience members, sounds good. And then we will go to public forum. Wait, is this different than a public comment period?
No, that's the public comment.
Oh, okay, so we're going to 5 then, right now?
No, number 4.
Number 4, okay. So public forum, individuals who are on site during this portion of the board meeting, members of the public who are specifically invited to present items of accommodation and or concern. At the discretion of the board chair, further public participation may be allowed at the time specific agenda items are under consideration by the board. Individuals who are viewing online, PHSB posts the upcoming agenda on our website the Friday before regularly scheduled Monday school board meetings. This will allow public comment period to the board meeting. Please click on the tab provided to share your comments for the school board to consider at the upcoming meeting. Personnel matters may not be discussed in public at a school board meeting. Members of the public who have personnel concerns or commendations should share them directly with the district superintendent. We have any public comment permission today? Kurt?
Mine's related to the public hearing. Are you gonna do it separate? Or is it, yeah, is that separate?
It will be next.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, wait till that portion.
I get it. Yeah, but I think.
Either of you guys.
We're here to present this.
The student stuff, okay.
Yeah.
We'll get to that here in just a second, right after. All right. Number 5 is the public hearing for CMGC exemption for Pleasant Hill School Gymnasium seismic rehabilitation. So 5.1 is a presentation of findings from Jim.
So the board in front of you've got the exhibit 25.87. And this is findings of fact for the use of construction manager general contractor, the CMGC contracted method. It's a lengthy document, so I'll summarize for you. But in May of 2024, we received a seismic rehabilitation grant from the Oregon Infrastructure Finance Authority of the Business Development Department for Pleasant Hill School Gymnasium. Total grant award was $2,499,940. Gymnasium is 18,000 18,600 square foot single story building, originally constructed in 1961. Composed of wood framing and unreinforced masonry. The building is rectangular in plan, approximately 200 feet by 100 feet, with maximum build height of approximately 35 feet. Building consists of locker rooms, offices, storage rooms, mechanical rooms, concessions, and gym, and other associated spaces. The seismic rehabilitation per the grant requirements is to upgrade the facility to meet a performance level for life safety and immediate occupancy as defined in the ASCE 41-17. Construction activities will take place adjacent to and within the district's existing Pleasant Hill High School gymnasium building. And the rehabilitation will be performed on an existing building dating from 1961 with a high degree of unknown in the structure. Construction will occur during volatile, uncertain economic conditions within the construction industry. In consideration of these facts, an alternative method of construction should be considered. Therefore, under the Oregon statutes and based upon the following findings, the district's board of directors is authorizing the use of construction management general contractor method of construction and contracting. The guiding applicable statute is ORS 279C.335, which requires for certain exemptions that all public contracts be based on competitive bidding and will be awarded to the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. ORS 279A.060, ORS 279C.335 subsection 2, and ORS 279.330 permit the district's board of directors to act as the public contract review authority and to grant under certain conditions and upon certain findings specific exemptions from the requirement for competitive bidding. In the finding of fact, use of the CMGC method to construct the district's project will A, result in substantial cost savings and reduce risk to the district. B, allow the district to select the contractor with the specialized expertise required. C, benefit the public by improving safety and coordination during construction. And D, not encourage favoritism or diminish competition. Specific findings which substantiate these conclusions are as follows. One, in finding, the board finds that the CMGC method will result in substantial savings and reduced financial risk to the district. Reduced risk provides a significant value and potential savings. The reduced financial risk, the project will occur during challenging economic conditions within the construction industry. It will be very costly and disruptive if these conditions create undue risk and potentially negative financial impacts to the district's project. Using the CMGC process will allow the district to look deeply into the contractor's financial strength and eliminate participation by those companies who do not have the financial strength to successfully complete the project. B, guaranteed maximum price. Establish a maximum price prior to starting construction. The CMGC will be able to obtain a complete understanding of the district's needs, the architect and engineer's design intent, the scope of the project, the condition of the existing facilities, and the operational needs of the district by participating in the development of the design documents. With CMGC's participation in this phase of the project, they will offer suggestions for cost saving and improvements to the design. With the benefits of this knowledge, the CMGC will be able to guarantee the maximum price paid by the district for the project. C, fewer change orders. When the CMGC participates in the design process, fewer change orders will occur during the construction process. This is due to the CMGC's better understanding of the owner's needs and designer's intent. As a result, the project is more likely to be completed on time within the grant funding allocation. In addition, fewer change orders reduce project management costs for both the district and the contractor. GMP change order costs less. The traditional design bid build method typically results in contractors charging up to 15% markup on change orders. The CMGC method applies to determined markups The experience of the industry has been to establish the markup in the range of 5 to 10%. GMP savings. Under the CMGC method, the district will enjoy full savings if the actual costs are below this GMP. When the CMGC completes the project, any savings between the actual costs and the GMP are returned to the district. Contractor fee is less. Contracts with the CMGC are designed to create a better working relationship between all parties, resulting in reduced risk to the contractor. As a consequence, the overhead and profit fee is generally in the 3 to 5% range, which is lower than markup usually applied to traditional design build projects. Number 2, under finding, the board finds that the CMGC method is necessary to take advantage of specialized expertise of the contractor. A specialized project. Utilizing the CMGC process will allow the district to select a contractor who has a proven track record and capacity to successfully complete seismic rehabilitation of historic buildings. B, exploratory demolition and constructability review during the design phase. During the design phase, the CMGC will be expected to perform exploratory demolition to verify and understand existing conditions and to review the constructability and cost implications for proposed design options. This input during the design phase will reduce the possibility of discovering unknown conditions during construction and create smoother coordination with subcontractors, which will reduce the risk of additional costs and schedule delays.
You can read through all this. Sorry, I just.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and read it all.
Okay.
Number 3, finding. The board finds that the CMGC process will result in improving public safety during construction activities. A, construction activities will take place adjacent to and within the district's existing high school gymnasium building. As construction may not be able to be accomplished entirely during the short summer break, a well thought out safety and coordination plan must be implemented to ensure members of the public, staff members, and students are kept safe and instructional activities are not disrupted. Utilizing the CMGC process will allow the district to select a contractor who has the sensitivity and experience to safely and successfully work in close proximity and in direct coordination with ongoing activities. Number 4, finding. The board finds that there will be no impact to the funding sources as a result of this exemption. A, the district's funding source for this project will remain the same, whether accomplished through a traditional design bid build process or through the CMGC process. No adverse impact on the funding source will occur as a result of this exemption. Number 5, finding. The board finds that the competition will not be inhibited, nor will favoritism be encouraged as a result of this exemption. The CMGC will be selected through a competitive negotiation process in accordance with the cost and qualifications-based process authorized by the district's board of directors. A solicitation process pursuant to ORS 279C 400. The CMGC request for proposals solicitation will be advertised in local and regional publications of general and industry specific circulation. B, full disclosure. To ensure full disclosure of information, the RFP will include the following information: a detailed description of the project, contractual terms and conditions, selection process, evaluation criteria, role of the evaluation committee, provision for the comments, and the complaint process and remedies. C, the selection process. Highlights of the selection process will include: 1, during the pre-proposal period, interested parties will, at any time prior to 10 business days before the proposal solicitation, be able to ask questions and request clarifications if they believe that any of the terms and conditions of the solicitations are unclear, inconsistent with industry standards, or unfair and unnecessarily restrictive of competition. 2, sealed proposals will be submitted to the district representatives at a time specified in the advertisement. 3, the following evaluation process will be used. 1, proposals will be evaluated for completeness and compliance with the requirements of the RFP. 2, proposals considered complete and responsive will be evaluated to determine if they meet the qualifying criteria of the RFP. If a proposal is unclear, the proposer may be asked to provide written clarification. Those proposals that do not meet the requirements will be rejected. 3, proposals will be independently scored against the predetermined criteria by the voting members of the evaluation committee. Scores will be combined and assigned to each proposal. 4, the evaluation committee may convene to select the highest ranked proposals, the finalists for interviews. 5, the evaluation committee may conduct interviews. 6, the evaluation committee may use the interview to revise the scoring of the proposal and clarify questions. Based on revised scoring, the evaluation committee will rank the proposals and provide a board recommendation. 7, the district and legal counsel will negotiate a contract with the top ranked firm. If an agreement cannot be reached, the district will have the option to enter into an agreement with the second ranked firm and so on. Competing CMGC firms will be notified in writing of the selection of the apparent successful proposal and will be given 7 calendar days after receiving the notice to review the RFP and file an evaluation report at the district office. Any questions or concerns about the selection process must be delivered to the district representative within 7 calendar days after receipt of the selection notice. No protest of the award selection shall be considered after this time. The contract achieved through this process will require the CMGC to use an open and competitive selection process for all components of the project. Number 6, finding the board finds that there will be no adverse impact on the operation, financial, or the budget if this exemption is provided. Whether this project is secured through a traditional design bid build method or through the CMGC process. The operational, financial, and budgetary impact will be the same, other than the potential savings mentioned in the finding number 1. More importantly, there will be no adverse impact on operations, financial, or budgetary data through the use of the CMGC process. Conclusions or findings of fact. It is the best interest of Glenville School District to utilize CMGC project delivery method. The CMGC method will A, result in substantial cost savings and reduce risk to the district. B, will allow districts to select a contractor with the specialized expertise required. C, benefit the public by improving safety and coordination during construction. And D, not encourage favoritism or diminish competition.
We'll get a chance to comment somewhere along the way.
Go for it.
Well, there's several things in here that I strongly disagree with. And we have finding of fact, and you're stating the board finds, well, I certainly have not researched and found and did not agree with many of these statements. Until the board has voted to adopt this,
I gotta stop us for a second.
I don't want to be misrepresented as saying the board. What board are we talking about?
So this is a public hearing portion of the CMGC. So I've got the findings of fact that have to be presented first. It opens up for public hearing, and if you'll notice in the action items, there's a place for board approval. Because the board is the acting body, I've got to write this in the terms of the board.
I feel your statement misrepresented the opinions that I have regarding the facts that you have found.
That's okay, but that's going to be during the action item. Right now, we're going to go through the public hearing portion of this. And this shouldn't be a surprise. We've been at this for a year leading up to this CMGC portion of this. Completely scrap it and not even have a hearing on it. Right now, we're in number 5, public hearing portion.
You're saying that you wrote the board finds just because that we have to approve it, that the reason, even though you like superintendent is the one doing the work.
Correct, but I operate as part of the board, and you guys are the board is the ones that oversee the approval process under your policies of being able to go through a CMGC process. And this is why this would have gone out for review, why I asked for questions.
No, I've been shut down from saying anything. It's time for public comment.
No, it's in the action item.
At this moment, I have been asked to be quiet, so I'm doing so.
You have any public comment on this? Kirby?
But yes.
I'm Kurt Offenbacher. Here to represent me. I think it's absolutely great that you're getting this done, and especially with the grant money. I know it's been in the back for years. So I don't have a problem with the project at all. I'm going to base my comments, my experience from when we did the new high school. I know John was around and involved some. The rest is I'm well retired, but my career's been in construction. Since then, I've been, since my retirement, I work for a company in Eugene, part-time. We do estimates for architects. And many times nowadays, we do estimates from a piece of paper to construction drawings. And a lot of times, we're essentially doing an independent estimate compared to CMGC. And it's a real eye-opener. It's our experience at Pleasant Hill, I don't think it ended up fine. We had some issues. That was a CMGC, and it essentially went okay. CMGC has transpired over the years. The original idea was you hired a contractor to work early on with the architect on constructability. They have good ideas. I mean, they're not stupid. So they can have feedback to the architect on design issues that you can get the same thing at a lower cost. So that was the original idea. What we're seeing now, and you ought to talk to Portland Public Schools if you want a real example. It's tens of millions of dollars of overruns. That's an extreme example, but everything's scaled. So what's happening now is your guaranteed maximum price. They didn't ever send me the findings, whatever those were, and a lot of that's boilerplate findings. I've heard that over and over on different projects. So what CMGCs do is they'll essentially pay them to give you a guaranteed maximum price. And I will tell you, they throw guts, feathers, and all. They throw any contingency, any allowance, because it is their guaranteed maximum price. So if you're a contractor, you're gonna want to make money, and we all want to do that. And so they cover anything and everything. And we have seen some absolute, I just scratched my head on what they throw in on the project. So that's one issue. So I've seen CMGC evolve over the years. If it's a very staged project with students running around all the time, and you gotta get this, that, and so I don't know what you have to do here. So that's one issue. The other is what they're doing now is going out early, and the CMGC takes proposals, say plumbing companies, and they all turn in a proposal with all the glossy stuff on what they can do, and say that's $100,000. So they pick a plumbing subcontractor, the CMGC does. Then they're all running through here during the design, and they have free reign. They don't bid against anybody. And I see that over and over. They just keep throwing costs in. So by the time the whole guaranteed maximum price is done, they have all the subs not competing against each other. So one thing, I just have some suggestions. One is if you go CMGC, wait till the design is done. Have the CMGC get competitive bids on the crafts. That's what we did here, and I think it worked okay. Don't give early packages and then let them start throwing money at it. And these are all my opinions. The other important thing is to hire an owners representative. For the high school, we use Cornerstone. There's several companies to do that, and we had two on board, myself and Kevin Parrish, and we were pretty familiar with the process. We met weekly with the superintendent and with the Cornerstone rep. They represent Pleasant Hill School District. An architect does not. He represents his design to make sure it's built the way he wants. You need a representative. They don't care about any of that. They budget it. They track those numbers. They're the referee, and they do this. these companies do it all over the state, so they know if something comes back at a certain cost, they'll know if it's in line or not. So that's one important thing. So, I'm still old school, I guess, on the difference between, and I've talked to architects, if they go CMGC or design bid build, they charge about the same. They still have to coordinate the project. So a general contractor has to coordinate the project. So CMGC is kind of a little bit, I don't know how you call that, but I'm not a big, I thought about the original idea was pretty good, but it's kind of morphed into how much. If they have these contingencies, they're gonna try and get all that money they can. Some they have to pay back, that they don't use, so, and there's a lot of details, but proceed with caution, that's all I'm saying. It's have a board member and an owner's rep. Don't depend on the architect or the CMGC. It's CMGC, all of that guaranteed maximum price is his. It's not competitive. He doesn't have to get competitive bids except at the end when the design is done. So I don't know how far along it is, or if you have an architect or so. I tried to get the findings from the newspaper that they never responded. It was difficult to hear a lot of that, but a lot of urban folks say it's pretty understanding stuff. Anyway, thank you.
Thanks for coming, Kurt.
It sounds like a great project, and congratulations on getting that grant.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming in and stopping by.
Huh?
I said, I appreciate you coming in and stopping by and sharing that. Thank you. Guess you guys are gonna say, no other comments right now? Talk about it at the action.
I would say two important points is like when you bring up Portland Public Schools, they're funding theirs through a bond that the district has got to settle bonds for. This will be a grant, and the grant is capped at that just under 2.5 million. So I mean, that is the top, and it's not district money, it's coming in from the state for that. And then there's by designing a school, there's so much goes into the architectural design, what kind of lights you use, for outlets. This is actually being done and engineered to the ASCP 41-17 standards that I mentioned for life safety and immediate occupancy. So there's some defined standards as well, which they are doing the construction for.
So we revisit this in action items then?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm gonna ask a question.
Sure.
Why would I? Well, I have lots of comments, but I'll wait, right? Comments. Guaranteed maximum price is only that. In other words, that's not the price. That's how much it can be. Right?
So yes, so I think I heard one of the selling points is you don't have change orders.
Well, that's not true.
Well, finish. What you're doing is prepaying for any
Yeah.
possible change orders.
Yeah.
And then you don't spend it all.
Yeah.
Because it's all in the guaranteed maximum price.
Right.
So you're still there's no way, particularly on record bid, where you're gonna have changes. So I don't think, again, in my humble opinion, that you don't save money. That's what I've seen, and you ought to talk to some of the Portland officials. It's one number is 47 million for Anderson Construction and CMGC. They're requesting $47 million in additional.
So one more question.
Sure.
Are you staying for? In your experience, would you agree that the success of either the design build bid or the GMGC. Depends entirely on who the general contractor is in either one of those scenarios. The right general contractor in either case
Yes.
is going to perform well.
Yes, and that's true. And our high school, I don't know if you remember, we had a rough start because of the county's delay of 160 or 80 days. But then we had a problem with the CNGC, and it comes down, it wasn't the CNGC, it was a superintendent.
Yeah.
So when that changed, everything changed. So it comes down to, that's a huge decision, picking the CNGC.
I agree.
And just a quick thought is, you could do a design bid build, but put qualifications on the bidders. They have to pre-qualify, they've had to do so much similar type retrofit on a timber, you know. I don't know what you do, but the whole thing, you have to, and there's a lot of good CMGCs, I think, but there's some that some take advantage more than others. Okay.
All right, we can talk about it more in a little bit. Number 6, presentations and recognition. Number 6.1, student of the month and most improved students of the month.
All right. At Pleasantville High School. Most improved, 9th grade was Nolan Perkins, 10th grade, Kayla McCullough, 11th grade, Chase Vargas. Our students of the 9th grade were Reagan Dockery, 10th grade, Katie Buxom, 11th grade, Ashlyn Johnson, and our student of the month was Ellie Epperson.
Excellent. And then on to 6.2, high school student representative report. Thank you for waiting patiently. Yes.
My name is Josie, this is my brother Jamin, and we're members of our student council. I'm our community outreach officer, and then.
I'm currently the senior class secretary.
And we're just here to present a couple findings to you about what's happening at our school. Jamie's going to talk about some of the sports related things real quick.
Yes, recently the girls basketball team, while the season did come to an unfortunate close, they had a terrific season overall. They won their 3rd consecutive league championship, their 3rd consecutive season with 20 or more wins. And the coach Paxton Miller received his 2nd Coach of the Year award in a row. And their team GPA qualified them for the academic all-state recognition with a 3.59 GPA. Currently, the boys basketball team recently defeated Style and is going to head to the quarterfinals down at Marshall High School in Coos Bay to hopefully eventually play for a state championship. And they also received academic all-state recognition with a 3.7 GPA with multiple league qualifiers and a number 2 overall ranking in a league title. Also, the wrestling program qualified what I believe is a record for a while, at least 9 wrestling state tournaments. They won their league title, and despite having a relatively small amount of wrestlers in the state tournament compared to other schools, they still came forth in the entire state.
All right, on the non-academic side, on the non-sports things side of Pleasant Hill right now, we have our Solar Jazz Band. They're currently in San Francisco for a showcase down there. They're having a great time and bonding together, getting to learn more about their musical abilities. A couple weeks ago, we had a program called 15 Night come and visit our National Honor Society, where they talked to us about what an ideal school environment would look like. We got to create a wish list of things that we want to see at our school. And we've been working with them, with our advisor, who's Mrs. Bonaventure. Student council has been working on showing recognition and appreciation to our staff members. So this week we are working on creating posters and decorating our school for our classified staff members, including our EAs and our custodians and our cafeteria workers and our librarians. So it's really neat for us as a council to get to show appreciation to them. We've also been working on increasing student involvement, so as Jade mentioned, at our athletic games, we've had tons of students come out. I think we had maybe a couple hundred kids that just like filled the stands. We're super excited to be there, and it was really cool to be a part of that movement and see that growth from like the beginning of the year to like the turnout football games to now having like a packed stand basketball games. That's something we want to keep the ball rolling at Pleasant Hill. And it's really neat to have a class for that. This year we have a student council class, which has been super helpful to make those dreams happen.
Excellent. Thank you. Any questions?
You skipped reporting on your game here against Crestwell. With your personally, your game against Crestwell, you had a great game, congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Yeah, thank you for coming. We always appreciate you having us here. You don't have to stay. You guys can leave after you. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. So.
Oh, all right. On to action items. We have 7.1, the consent agenda. We hear a motion on the consent agenda.
I don't think we have a quorum for the meeting. Oh, well, no, I can't vote for the work session. I wasn't here. I don't know if that, in fact, recruits myself, if you have a quorum, to go for that one.
We have a quorum.
But I have to recuse myself. I think.
I think we're fine still having the quorum. We have enough to vote. We would end up with, possibly end up with 2 in favor, one is,
You're right.
I'm abstaining, but the only problem is you're looking at just abstaining. So here's what I would suggest that you do if you want to do it that way. Is I would suggest making a motion that 7.102 be moved out of consent as 7.6 action item.
So. Okay. Second. All those in favor? Aye.
So now your consent agenda will be 7.101 and 7.103.
Okay.
Go ahead. For consent agenda, exhibits 2425, 188, 2425, 190.
Second.
All right, it's been seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, take a vote. Those in favor? Aye. Passes 3-0.
Did you capture that?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Next one is 7.2, approve policy first read.
Right, so you've got, this is the first read, we discussed it at the last board meeting. The summary of this though is House Bill 4160 in 2024 changed the definition of student, changing a student who left school or graduated from high school within 90 days to within 1 calendar year. And it's in effect as of July 1st, 2024. This included the recommended revisions. And that is the only change in the 2 revisions. So it's recommended that the board of directors adopt the following board policies. And it's the effective policies are GBNAA -JHFF and JHFF -GBNAA.
We have like a motion that we read this for the first time essentially.
Yeah.
So are there any motions for?
Drew, you asked the last time, I think. The definition of a student, I get this. But was there any, like, you're not a student anymore. So how are you a student? Even if it's 90 days or a full year after you graduated?
Well, so the definition of the student though, is any person who is in grade from pre-K through grade 12 or 21 years of age or younger receiving education related services from the district that is not post-secondary institutions. The change is including that definition of a student rather than 90 days after graduation for 1 calendar year in terms of a school employee having sexual relations with that person.
For that particular evaluation.
Correct.
Motion. Very first.
First reading.
Correct.
Of the GBNAA dash JHFF and JHFF dash GBNAA.
Thank you. So
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? And all those in favor? Aye. Passes 3-0. 7.3, approved resolution of increased spending limitations.
All right, so this is a resolution authorizing the budgeting of unexpected carryover funds for the 24-25 budget. So essentially the second whereas the district anticipated spending $202,278.69 from the maintenance and capital project funds before the end of 23-24 fiscal year, so June 30th, 2024.